This, ladies and gentlemen, is Eddie. He is an incredible Korean top laner. He's known for inventing a lot of different technologies. He's also been known as one of the best Pantheon players on the planet, and today we're going to have a look at how exactly he plays that incredible Pantheon. And I want to point out that Pantheon, probably one of the best champions to climb with. Incredibly strong at roaming, destroying games, and just taking them over. So we are going to have a look at one of Eddie's games, and we are going to see what he does to achieve victory. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the Summoner's Rift, and today we are going to have a look at a Korean game played by Eddie, the Pantheon player on the Korean server, one of the best rated top laners. A lot of people, a lot of solo queue players agree he is probably scarier than people like Zeus even. Incredibly scary and very aggressive. And obviously he does spam a lot of games. He is going to be running the Ghost here on the Pantheon, starting out with a Doran's Blade. So no whimsical longsword starts, right? Not like this Varus is starting with a longsword. No. Eddie is going to go for the maximum amount of combat stats available to him. Doran's Blade here. Something that optimally in the lifetime of a Pantheon player, you will never sell this item, because the stats are very valuable and you'd want to end the game before you would sell it optimally, right? So this game, he's going off against a Tryndamere, which I would consider a pretty difficult matchup, so we'll see how exactly he does. He's going to be starting out on a solo invade here, positioning himself in a way that he can see all of the kind of angles here, right? So we're going to have a look at that. He can literally see anyone approach, and he knows, okay, not a soul over here. This also says, obviously, that he is confident. Tryndamere playing it safe. This also says that he is confident to take on the Tryndamere in a 1v1. Generally with Tryndamere, the goal is this. You have to prevent the Tryndamere player from stacking up rage. That is how you beat Pantheon in lane. Tryndamere in lane is prevent him from stacking that rage bar full. If you fail that job, then he can just run you down level 1. But like here, right? If you are scary enough and he cannot fully stack his rage bar, it's going to be very difficult for him to have a lot of impact in the early lane. Level 2 here coming up for Eddie. So we're going to see whether or not a blunder is being made. He's making sure not to quickly achieve that level 2. He does it in a way that Tryndamere will be punished if he walks up, right? Kind of just takes it as slow as possible. And he's just, every single time Tryndamere goes for a minion, he's just going to blow his Q on him. Going to go Q auto attack. And the Conqueror obviously stacking up on that. He did get a lot of minion aggro. Might have been a better idea to not actually in this case, not auto attack. Just Q and walk away. Now though, for Eddie, WE is available here. And this is the problem with Tryndamere. Tryndamere's sustain is just very, very good. But yeah, we're playing very aggressive here. The Q and the auto attack, no W, no E, are going to be used here. Which obviously denies anything to the enemy team, as red team will acquire here a double kill onto the enemy bot lane. Nice longsword start, as Eddie, not trying to punish the Tryndamere while farming. He is going to move into the map and down into the mid lane here already, which is going to be very interesting. Ooh, we're going to move into the jungle maybe? Nope. Takes the blasting plant. Just looking for some setup, looking for some kills. Tryndamere says, where the hell is Eddie? Eddie finding the enemy jungler. Has got to be a little bit careful now, as the Tryndamere converging on his location. Eddie takes the more reliable way out, as Genji Millim will find the Tryndamere. Tryndamere gonna be CC'd up here. Has to flash out. The ghost activated for both of the top laners as Lee Sin hitting a good Q. And is going to make sure that a double kill goes over here to the Pantheon. With one kill also going over to the Tristana. And that is a huge advantage here for Addy on Tryndamere, who made a little bit of a wave control blunder here. He left a top lane that you can't leave like that. This is not allowed. As Addy, I'm gonna be teleporting back into the top lane now. Doesn't have a flash, right? So he used that ghost and he still has the teleport available. Just Tryndamere can't say the same thing for himself. As Tryndamere, dagger and boots, and Addy. So rated Dirk, longsword, and the Doran's blade. So a lot of combat stats here, as he does acknowledge the lead that he has and kind of just freezes the wave and moves in aggressively. Tryndamere placing a forward ward, knowing the lane position or how the lane is going to end up in. Obviously, this is something that we can see from these high elo players. All the fundamentals are down. And they are down reliably, so these players don't have to think about it. It's auto-piloted to place that ward at this point. As Addy, yeah, taking on a bit of punishment here from the minions, but let's be honest, that doesn't really matter. As he will keep the lane in this favorable position and just tell Tryndamere, you know, the longer this goes, the more you fall behind. And as long as you don't get a roam, which in this case, it seems like he will get some XP, but not a roam. Level 4 to level 6 now. Well, not quite level 6. Tristana's got to flash in here onto the Tryndamere. Tryndamere is going to be alive. Not going to take that much damage here from the Tristana, but Pantheon now trying to free himself up of the wave. And the ultimate coming in here. The spear drops, and that is going to be a takedown onto the Tryndamere. Very easy, just ults underneath the tower to cut off the escape path of the Tryndamere, and then we'll just take him down with a W. Tryndamere giving up a little bit on that one. As we are moving into the bottom lane now, looking to further snowball the map state. Level 6 here available to none of the enemy bot lane. That is going to be a double kill achieved onto them without Addy going down. This is huge, as Addy will recall in a rather unsafe position, but level 5 Tryndamere. Yeah, Addy knows. Addy knows this Tryndamere don't win anything here. As he will recall. Lee Sin currently working on that red buff. Addy is going to be cancelled again, and now that people are coming in here, there is an increasing chance. Yeah, Addy has to walk back to safety. Can't recall in such a cocky position, so now probably will stay to push out another wave and then recall. Something like that, I would assume, right? But yeah, Addy in a very smart rotation, by the way, by the Tristana. I want to point that out. Like, very, very smart rotation. Thinking ahead of what was going to happen in the bot lane. And if Pantheon stays alive, obviously it makes most sense of him to be here. Also, something that Tristana realized was here the minions were in a favorable position for her team. And so she just ended up moving here to the top side. This is something that I find very, very impressive, because it shows not only good knowledge of the map, but also how things are going to pan out in the next couple of minutes. As the flash out of the enemy AD carry will not be enough, as Nautilus gets himself to temporary safety, but the extendo beam will find him. The ghost activated here for Addy, and Addy will try to take down the Gragas. Does take down the Gragas eventually. Lee Sin now working on the Pantheon. Pantheon flash. Pantheon, yes. Gangplank flash. And, oh, the Q misses. That is actually pretty scary here. As no E available for Addy. Shutdown goes over to the GP. As he realizes no E available for that Pantheon. And he would get out a very favorable trade here, the GP, right? So very good for him, but the map state is just so advanced at this point here for the red team as Ashe. Trying to get herself some plate. Ooh. Very good. Ashe will dodge out of that one. Minions protecting her on that one, but she got to be a little bit careful. We don't really know when Nautilus is going to hit 6. Could be any time now. Alright, so now we are trying to freeze it up as the flash will bait in the Nautilus. Will Nautilus go down? Currently, Zeri still is a little bit of a wet noodle as Pantheon on the roam once again. He is going to find the enemy support. Will pin him down with that W. The Q missing as he will eventually take him down. But now AD carry and enemy jungler are united. Eddie going in for a quick combo here. Proccing that Eclipse shield. Will not keep him safe from the Gragas combo though, as he is just waiting in the bush. Empowered Q, just one auto attack away. I'm gonna place a ward. Gonna jump, and we're gonna Q and E and take down the Varus with that. Beautiful job. Ghost on the Tristana activated. As Lee Sin is solo pushing the top lane. Will take that tower down. For sure, for sure. Pantheon just creating chaos. Not really doing any jungling anymore. And this can be a very, very dangerous strategy, right? If these dives don't work out, or if your team makes some big mistakes during the execution of this game, you're going to be the one who is low on CS. And 2 shutdowns at this point already gone over to the enemy team here, right? 700 and 600 golds, just like 1,000 gold in shutdowns alone is what Addy has given over to the enemy team. It's pretty rough, and takes a lot of kills to pay for that one, which he ended up paying for. But you know, it definitely reduces the amount of impact that has had. Super cocky recall here by the Zeri. Xenobeam is going to hit the Varus. Another shutdown over to the Varus. As Ashe goes down as well. That is not a good look here for the red team. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So funny, because this happens to me as well. Whenever I life tap and I go, okay, I don't need so much farm. My team's got this, right? We're going to snowball the map to an advanced state. Going to make our AD carry strong. And then my bot lane keeps doing exactly that, right? Absolutely avoidable mistakes where you're just recalling in front of the full life enemy AD carry. Trying to all in them at like 10% of your HP or 30 and 100% of theirs. Maybe not optimal play, I would wager to say. But it is what it is as this Pantheon. Now gonna push in the top side of the map. Tryndamere. Ooh. Trying to bait out some tower shots here. We'll take down the minions. Except one. Because that one, it did deserve to live. As the ghost will come out here, and that is going to be a flash and an ultimate out of the Varus. Just like that. Wing over the wall. Zeri's got to be a little bit careful. There's a good amount of lockdown here available now with that Gragas and the Nautilus are. Right now, Addy in a little bit more trouble though than any of his teammates. Gragas and the Nautilus looking, but now the decision has been made to disengage from that. Addy on a little bit low of mana. Nautilus ultimate comes out onto Tristana, who does flash it, and now the blue team finds himself in a strugglesome position with the tier 2 turret already being taken down. Ooh, almost a really beautiful kick here out of the Lee Sin. Wasn't quite enough, but the turret will be taken down anyhow. And we will move back to the base here as Addy. Gonna get back a little bit of mana, mainly. And also spend our gold, because Addy, quite the rich boy at this point, is going to get himself a Coalfields Warhammer and a Kindle Gem. We are prepared for the Black Cleaver, as the blue team will have to hold on pretty tight here if they want to win this game. Obviously, we have a Snowball Zeri. We have a Tristana that is ridiculously strong. And obviously the Pantheon and the Lee Sin, they're going to fall off later on. So you can have a little bit of hope. But at this point, Pantheon, no sign of slowing down. And he is not going to slow down for the next 20 minutes. Which means... yeah, it's going to be rough as the Tryndamere ult comes out preemptively here. Just barely getting him out of that situation. Oh my god, what a close call here. Tryndamere eventually found by Addy. Takedown onto the Ashe secured in the meantime, as now the blue team has to be careful again. They're trying to take their fights wherever there is the enemy bot lane, because the bot lane is the closest matchup here. Wherever Lee Sin and Pantheon are, it's just not going to be it. As Varus caught out by a long-range arrow. Varus will go down here. Just stunned for ages. So does the Nautilus. And people are tilted as hell. Zeri gonna dive the Gragas, and she will stay alive as well. Take down another tier 2 turret here as Tristana diving the Tryndamere. Also could start work on the tier 3 here, but decides to play it safe, and the blue team surrenders with 5 votes to 0. And that is Eddie running his game through Korean Challenger. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. And stay awesome.